So you're looking at me right now, but we're going to turn this camera here shortly after I do this little introduction. First of all, can you hear me okay? Regan's moving on up in the world of, getting technical with her equipment. And she got a new microphone system tonight. So I need to hear from my mods and make sure that I am heard, because Regan doesn't like to not be heard. Yeah. We'll give this a couple minutes. It does. There is a delay for it to get out.
Oh, can I watch it? Oh, it will, huh?
Let's see. Somebody tell me in this chat that we are good to go. Irish Rover, ANCAP, Raymond, Snarky, Sylvia, Bohica. Hey, thank you guys for being in here. We live, Raymond, right on. Can you hear me? I need to know that my sound is good. Hello from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Good to go, thank you. Real constitutional upholder, which, by the way, thank you for being in here tonight. And Sylvia, keeper of the list. We're having some little fun here at this table. And I'm going to be spending some time tonight with the staff at 5280, and we're going to talk about some serious stuff. And I have been honored to be able to be in this position to partner with this nonprofit, my nonprofit, partnering with a brick and mortar nonprofit that's saving lives. I mean, it's a win-win, especially anybody that's going to partner with Regan and not try to arrest her. So we had scheduled a StreamYards panel that we were going to do with the executive director and the community director of 5280 back earlier in December. And we weren't able to do that because we jumped right into severe weather and it just got delayed. Well, we're able to gather here tonight because we're all going to be serving people again because we're in a really bad weather pattern in Colorado, as you know. It's cold, and the 10-day forecast, I don't know if anyone's taking a look at that, but yeah, we're going down to 0 starting Friday, and it's only going to get worse from there, probably into the negative digits without wind chill. So we're going into a rough go, and we need help. That's the bottom line. And this nonprofit, 5280, is amazing. They've been around for a while in Inglewood, and this year is their first year in doing severe weather sheltering, and they're saving lives. And for those of you that have followed me and saw what we went through with finding Robert out on the bench last year, that was a disaster, and we're not going through that again. So we're gonna just switch this camera over, and we're gonna do an introduction here. This is Tina Hayhurst. She is the executive director of 5280, and she's gonna hold this little mic.
Awesome. Hi.
Yeah, Tina, thank you very much. I know you're super busy, and I know this operation is huge, and this is a ministry. That's what it is. We know that, and part of your mission is serving those that need an opportunity to thrive, survive, and revive.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So tell us where 5280 came from.
Sure.
And where it is today.
Yeah, I'll do this quickly, but our past is that we have been in existence for almost 15 years. We started on Colorado and Colfax, and a young gentleman came to our church, and I was a youth pastor at the time, and just shared a need about youth who were on the streets, many of them who came from foster care. And I was a mom in a suburban church, middle class to upper class, and had never dealt with unhoused population before, but have a heart for young adults and youth. And so within like 3 months, we opened a building on Colorado and Colfax, and just opened as a game place that people could come in, especially youth. And our whole idea was just to love on people right where they were, knowing and believing that when people are heard, when people are seen, that makes such a difference in their life when they are in survival mode, that it makes such a difference just to hear their story, to know their name, to give them a hug, and really you begin to see a difference. And also you just realize that people, we're not that different from each other. We are really about the same. When you sit and listen to someone's story, you realize that we're all about the same and that we struggle with the same things. We all have things that consume our lives, that bring us down. And
with that, can I ask
yeah,
you, can we talk honesty about being one check away from homelessness in all of that ministry and the people that you serve?
absolutely. I think all of us could be in that place. And all of us, there's so many people that we know where their families, someone in their family is homeless. And then we maybe didn't hear about it for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, someone feels comfortable to share that, yeah, I have someone in my family that is on the streets and struggles with mental illness. And you recognize that all of us could be there at any given time. And we're not that different. We struggle.
Yes.
This is hard.
And so, for those of you that are watching the stream, when Tina talked about this ministry opening up at Colfax in Colorado, that's in Denver. And tell us how you got into Inglewood.
Yeah, so we outgrew our space. We were probably in 1,500 square foot. And we've been in 3 places since then because we just continued to grow. During COVID, I think we were one of the few organizations, in fact, I know that just continued to open its doors to all ages. And so we just decided as a team that we would just go outside and we would start serving all ages. And really that changed kind of the trajectory of Movement 5280, in that we didn't ever want to be the same. We wanted to continue to reach anyone that was broken, anyone that needed help, anyone that needed a friend. We wanted to be there.
And
so that's what happened.
And that is what church is.
Yes.
So I want to interject at this point and say, we were having a conversation at the beginning before we started this stream about the people being exceptionally judgmental. And this is a real thing, and we have real discussions about this with our homeless community. And 5280 is what I would consider a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
This is not an accountability-free zone. I've seen you in action. I've seen your wonderful staff in action. Every single person here is trauma trained and informed. That's why your severe weather sheltering is running so well in this setting. You have all of your security measures handled, and the neighborhood. This is me being an outsider and observing that the neighborhood has preconceived notions that aren't true about what you do here. We all know that follow 5280 and homelessness here in Inglewood, there was a huge onslaught of folks that went to city council and were literally trying to shut down 5280. And they continue in some ways to try to do things that aren't conducive with what a civilized society should be doing, in my opinion. And you went to city council and you talked on the record openly in front of all of these people. What was it? Not quite a year ago. Is that right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And explained why this ministry is so important and what it's doing. I was so moved by that. I said, "Yep, I got to be a part of this. This is where I belong." And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. But one of the most important things you said at that city council meeting was what it's like to be homeless. Talk about the mattress incident.
Well, I think the complaints are from people that maybe have fear or don't understand. And so therefore they make judgments of things that they don't know. And so I think before I talk about the mattress, I just want to say that when people have actually taken the time to like knock on the door and come in and see what goes on and really begins to see that we're all just human, and some of that fear comes down. I feel like people are very receptive and understand more that this is a needed thing, that none of us really like seeing people that are broken. It's hard. It's hard to see people that have addiction issues and become face to face. But when we do, we realize that maybe there's something we can do that can help. And so I just appreciate that some of the neighbors that have come in and have said, oh wow, I never knew that this is what you do. But the mattress was that people were watching and maybe videoing, and they see from one perspective. And so one was mattresses are coming in, and so we said, yeah, mattresses are coming in because people are donating them so that when they get housing. And then another one was there was a mattress and someone slept on it, and I said outside, and I said, yeah, if I was homeless I would want to sleep on a mattress. That's where I would go, or I would want to go in our little hidden alley where no one can see them. And so it makes sense, but we have to be open to new perspectives, and really not just being so quick to just go, well, that person must be there because they're doing drugs. Well, how about if I learn a little bit about what life is like and how many myths there are about homelessness, and that people don't want to change. Really, people are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're not thinking about changing.
Yep.
That's the honest truth.
Amen. And those of us that work directly with our folks, that do the direct street outreach, we understand this. And so I want everybody to know in the chat, tonight's goal is we are raising money. We have got to keep this severe weather shelter response going. This is our only hope in Inglewood and literally the south end of the Denver metro area. And that is the truth when it's going to come to a place for people to be in severe weather that aren't going to lose their life or limbs. So with that, I want to, I have to turn the camera right
Yes,
now.
you do.
And we have to talk to Bella because she's a trip. I love this lady. And she says it like it is.
Hot sauce. So can I be real and honest?
Yes,
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna
Yes,
be
you
real and
can,
honest.
Bella. And
Okay.
what do you have? What do you have to say about it all?
So
Hold that little mic.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
hear me?
just
Okay.
hold it.
So when I came to 5280, which was probably 6 years ago, I want to say, I've lived in Inglewood for probably 32 years, and I've seen a lot of changes in Inglewood. I was a waitress at Denny's on Hampton for 7 years. Seen a lot of things that go on here. I was also drug addicted for many years and in a lot of trouble. I wish back then that there would have been a place like 5280, somewhere where you can just come in and be yourself and no judgment. Unconditional love is what we're about, and what we focus on more than anything is just loving on people where they're at. Because I think back then, if I probably would have had a place like this, I probably wouldn't have been in so much trouble.
Amen.
Just keeping that real, just keeping it real. But
That's it.
yeah, many years of drug addiction, many years of just fighting with the law and doing all that stuff, to now being a peer recovery coach, which I love. And I love people, and I love meeting them where they're at. And I love what we do here, and I stand by what we do. And I come down to do what we do because that's what we love to do for the people. And we all give our time, and everybody here is amazing. The lady that started this mission is, I stand behind her and Jamie 100% because I believe in what we do. And that's it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Bella's a big damn deal. She is. She is like a little spirit living and brewing in me every day. I feel it. And I got to tell you, when I walk in this building, even if I don't see a single person, there is a feeling of there are good things going on in here. And I'm not making that up. This is called the power of divine intervention. Would you agree?
I agree.
And
I agree.
and how we all come together. And we're serving the people. And
Well, I do want to say my brother was homeless and he was on the streets. I've offered him a place to stay. He didn't want to. He came into 5280 within less than a year. We've got 5280 got him into a place and he's doing amazing right
yeah,
now.
you know what?
So-
Speaking of that, we're going to switch over to Jamie and we're
Yeah.
going to talk
Woo!
about
Yeah.
we're going to talk about how this is a true navigation center.
Yes.
Because it is. And everybody, this is Jamie Groves. She's amazing. And we have been able to get a lot of great things done. And one of the topics in Inglewood is from, again, my own perspective and what I know about how we're spending government money and moving into this thing called Tri-Cities homelessness, where Inglewood is determined a navigation center. Well, this is a very weird concept to me because this is a navigation center. And Jamie is the community director.
Yes.
Do I have that title right? I do have that title right. And she makes this navigation happen. So on a daily basis, what are those basic navigation things we do to get people housing, to get them in front of the 8 ball, to get them just those simple things that they have to get housing?
So we do a lot of things. There's really nothing too small or too big. We can meet people right where they're at. We do housing assessments here, which puts people into a coordinated entry queue, which allows them to be pulled and matched with housing systems sooner than later and see which algorithm matches them with the best ones that they can. We do that for families, for veterans, for single adults and youth. We're approved to do that. We do IDs, we do birth certificates, we do Social Security disability applications. We go to court with our clients. We are a community service place. We do mental health. We do peer recovery coaching, trauma-informed care. We do a lot as far as navigation is concerned. And that's why we're also called the hub, because it's just a place where everything interconnects and we serve the people, the needs that they have.
And unfortunately, from my perspective, government isn't doing their job with people's taxpayer dollars and going to these nonprofits. And there are other nonprofits in Inglewood, and they are doing good work. But I don't think they can be considered a hub for full service as 5280 is. And so government is failing in reaching out to you to connect you with those dollars that are supposed to be getting people off the street. I personally have a problem with that, but it doesn't stop your work. It doesn't stop your mission. However, funding is a real necessity. And now you've taken on severe weather sheltering. And this is a big deal because what I know is that another nonprofit received a whole bunch of funding for emergency severe weather sheltering, and they are not doing it. And you are not complaining at all about picking up these pieces to serve the people. But talk to us a little bit about what that's been like.
It's a lot. I mean, if you just think of what it takes to feed your family for a day and times that by 40 people in a 30,000 square foot building, and the electricity and the staffing and the security, it is a lot. It's a huge task to take on, and well worth it, because we definitely get to bring people in out of the elements and prevent things like what happened last year, Regan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a huge undertaking.
Right.
Financially, we do 3 meals a day. It's a lot.
And you've got sleeping arrangements in the church that have a set of rules, which require more staff. That staff time is huge. And I cannot believe that I can walk in here at any given time and see all of these people in action. It is really amazing. The dedication. You wouldn't be able to do this without the people.
Oh no, absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
you know, people have to be paid too,
Mhm.
and people will volunteer their time. But in order to have a fully functioning staff that can keep things going, they have to be paid as well. And we're not even asking for money to pay the staff. We're not raising money right now to pay the staff. We're raising money just to get by with the sheltering and meet the needs of what it requires to keep the heat on. A building this size has, you know, a $10,000 gas bill that has to be met every so often, right? Probably monthly, for all I know. And these people get to come in here and hang out, watch movies, be fed. We wouldn't want to do this if we didn't have the ability to, I guess, be well rounded in feeding folks. So, food is an issue. We have some specific asks, I know, in this kitchen right now that I'm going to put out there.
Yes, please do. You made a list. You put them out there, girl. Go ahead.
So I've been in the kitchen for the last week, and it's been wonderful. And we need coffee. We need lots and lots of coffee. Hold on. We're keeping it real here.
That's right. Till she came up, no coffee anywhere. Oh, right.
Okay. So we've got.
That's good. We really do need coffee.
So true. And you got to have a good time in here. But we got lemonade. We got
Lemonade is what we have.
Oh, we need some lemonade.
Well, the apple cider, we had to get rid of the apple cider.
It was. Oh, we have some. hot
Woo.
cocoa.
Okay. So, yeah. Ladies, is there anything else you want to talk about before I move into the kitchen and navigate my way through the kitchen and just talk to folks? And then I'm looking forward to maybe going out. And one thing we forgot to talk about is they also have transportation. They have a van and they have a driver and staff to be able to do that. And I think I get the opportunity tonight to go out in the van and work with that volunteer. We're doing the best we can to keep people off the camera that don't want to be on camera. And so you might see things go weird in the camera. But is there anything else we want to talk about at this table before? Tina, you got to have a closing statement.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for
Yes.
just being an advocate and also just like rallying troops to help. And I just think everyone can do something, and we all need to work together. And so there really is only 2 paid staff that are full time, and that's Jamie and I right now, and that's it. And I think what I love about this organization is that we really do ask anyone to help, even if they're part of severe weather. If they come on a Wednesday and they want to sweep and they want to learn sound, and if they want to write thank you notes, we want everyone to feel like this is their home and that they're part of the solution. And so it's amazing to see, whether people are unhoused or not, everyone pitching in. And this morning in church, we were saying we need $12,000 by Wednesday. And I was amazed, even just of our congregation, who is mostly unhoused, that we collected like $380. And that means something, because if someone can give a quarter, they feel like they're part of something. And so I just can't wait just to see, as people feel like, say, I can do something. I can bring coffee. I can bring a case of water. I can give my time. And that's when we can all come together and make a difference.
Absolutely.
little stuff that is seemingly little that's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
And with that, Tina, can you put on this stream hours of operation and how that looks
Yeah,
and how it coordinates with severe weather and the things that go on during the week?
yeah. I can just share a typical week. On Monday, we have Celebrate Recovery because we really are a recovery organization. And during the week, we have lots of small groups meeting on life skills and recovery issues. Monday, Celebrate Recovery. Tuesdays, our mental health day. We have counselors on site. We have navigation going on. Wednesdays, our big community day from 10 to 2. Anyone is welcome for a meal. We do IDs, we do housing. All the navigation happens on Tuesday and Wednesday, a lot of work. And then on Thursday, we have a food bank for our community. Anyone can come and get a meal between 9 and 11. On Fridays, we have more classes. We have a Bible study. We have an evening that's dedicated for young adults. And in everything we do, Sunday we have church, 12:30, and a meal. All that we do, we have a job readiness program. So everything we do becomes a job. And so people that are leading worship, people that are doing sound, computer, sweeping, mopping, all of those things are a job readiness program to help people to really build their self-esteem so that they can go out and get a job and really it helps with growth and people feeling like they're worth something and can contribute. And so it's very successful and unique in that way.
This is a big deal here at 5280. So everybody take note, and we're going to move on into the kitchen. And
Awesome.
thank you, ladies,
Thank
so
you.
very much.
Do we go in the kitchen? Huh? First, yeah. Oh, she has to give her spiel of what the rules are, I think, unless everybody's a repeat.
Yeah, no, we're doing it.
So yeah, we're going to move on
We'll
into the
roll
kitchen
down.
right now.
Better do rules. Let me take these. Hey, Gina. No, I think Carissa got. We'll read it right now.
So here we go. Good things happen in this kitchen, y'all. And I've been spending some time in here. We've oh look, Rice Krispie treats for dessert tonight. We also filled the fridge with some the cupcakes went. We still got some milk, a lot of whipped cream. But over here, we got an empty freezer here. Yeah. So they've been doing a lot of organizing and cleaning to get things put back together. So we're fully stocked, and they have at least something. Look at that. Oh, the sausage patties, right on. And so we got some dessert topping over here. We got more corn dogs. But what we could use is probably some prepared meals that are ready to go to this freezer, because we've got a couple big weeks coming up, and we're going to go into the pantry here. Oh, look at it. It's a beautiful thing. But what do we need? We need coffee. We got a great donor that's doing a lot of extra food runs for us, and it's all interesting. This is all coming out of advocates and people in Denver, because literally Inglewood just, I don't know, they just don't like the homeless, and they refuse to recognize that this place serves people. We delivered 10 cases of water the other night. Helping Hands for Dignity and their scheduler volunteer, who so graciously went to load that up for me in his truck. We have some serious need for serving utensils of plates and bowls and forks and spoons. We don't need any more knives. We've got knives, and more knives. We need forks and spoons. I think this is what we're down to in bowls. We're down to this in cups. I was trying to start organizing this last night. I didn't get too far. But yeah, cups. This is a big deal. This size of cup. And while it sometimes is helpful to say, hey, we need stuff, we need the right stuff. Because when you just start getting a bunch of stuff ends up getting thrown away. There's Bella over there making lemonade. You're making the lemonade.
Yeah.
So
I'm making lemonade.
what are the barriers over here? Oh my goodness, look at this.
That is really good.
Who made that?
Jenny cooks from her heart.
Yes, she does. Yum, yum, yum. And so, but can we talk about the kitchen situation with being able to be a full service kitchen and what the barriers are on that?
So we need a hood in order to be able to really cook in here, and we need a grease trap. We need both things to be able to operate.
And what is the process of that?
A lot. It's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work with the city of Englewood to get a permit, and then we're going to have to just follow the guidelines of a commercial kitchen. But we have to have money to even build a plan. So that's going to be the next step, is to really build a plan of what we want and then take it to the city of Englewood.
Do we know cost at all? Any
Jamie,
estimations?
do you have an estimate?
I think it was about, for the grease trap, I want to say it was 8,000, and for the hood, it was about 20,000.
Oh my goodness. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
We're talking $30,000 to meet the government's demands to be able to fry some hamburger on the stove.
To really be able to cook a meal on site that is not cooked at home and brought in. So really to be able to do that, we need to be able to set up as a commercial kitchen.
And you know, that's kind of crazy because that would be the safest way to serve people, is to be able to cook everything on site here. But instead, we have to pay special attention to making sure that we're preparing food that isn't going to become a foodborne illness issue in transferring and all that kind of stuff. And this is charity. This is people needing fed. This isn't a for-profit endeavor to try to serve people. And I think that's what's frustrating to me, in us just not being able to use that wonderful gas stovetop and setup that's already here. So that's frustrating. But I guess that's why a microwave comes in pretty handy. I don't know. I mean, what? Hey, you know what we need? A convection microwave. Would we be allowed to have like 4 convection microwaves in here?
We probably can. We cook on little griddles when we can cook, like the electric grills or woks.
Mm-hmm.
Very creative.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then that way we could at least do things like that in those microwaves.
We're making Arnold Palmer's.
Nice.
We're making Arnold Palmer's for all the golfers.
Love it.
Yeah.
We don't need no coffee in here.
Coffee.
So we're gonna be out of lemonade.
Yeah.
We
We
just
have signed for we need lemonade now.
we opened that last night, and
Free
Oh,
iced coffee.
what are we doing over here?
making them hot?
You're gonna make hot coffee out of the iced coffees.
Yes.
See, I mean, I am learning a lot from these women in the kitchen. I mean, trust me, I am no Betty Crocker. And when I try to be, it doesn't always work out that great. I'm a pretty good cook, but I'm not near as good as all these creative gals in here.
Do you want me to put the lemonade out now? Or do you want to wait till? Okay.
I know I'm not supposed to be in here. I know, but
No, you're not.
Yeah, that is kind of one of the rules that I like enforced when I'm here, is that no guests are in the kitchen.
yeah, but I'm not a guest.
Yes, you are.
Is it because I'm black?
There's plenty of jokesters that come through here too, let me tell you.
Yes, Kitty, yes.
But yeah, back to this. This is a big deal. And I know people are going to throw a fit because it's not environmentally conscious to use plasticware. But look, if you want to make a donation of bamboo or whatever floats your boat, do it. So we can serve the people, because it is not conducive to do dishes here. It just isn't.
Chewing what? Oh, the carrots?
Jamie is an amazing person. She's just a little camera shy.
Oh, the Rice Krispies.
But she is so good at her job. So very good. But this is what action looks like here. And look, this is their first year of severe weather shelter. And there is nothing they haven't pulled off. So again, tonight's goal, we're raising money for 5280. And you've seen several ways in the chat to be able to do that. If you give through my Venmo and my Cash App through my nonprofit, make a note that it is for 5280 and it's going to go to 5280. If you don't like that option and want to use regular snail mail, you can do that. I think that address has been posted in the chat. And we are trying to minimize any donation links that collect a lot of fees so we can save that. So their capacity for sheltering is at 40. Maybe Jamie, can I ask you some questions about capacity for sheltering? So you had to get a permit, and that came from
The city of England, fire
Yeah.
marshal team.
okay. And so what are the rules with it?
We cannot have more than 40 guests here. People need to show up at 6 o'clock to check in, and they need to be checked out. Well, between 6 and 9. Nobody can come in after 9 o'clock. And then they need to check out by 7 a.m. in the morning. It's a little different for us because we're a night shelter and a day shelter. So we've got to take it and switch it real quick. And so even though people leave at 7, they'll come back at, if it's super freezing outside, we'll open up again at 9. And then
This
people
7
stay.
o'clock thing, this is, if I'm not mistaken, in city ordinance,
Yes, it is.
kicking people out at 7 a.m.
To my understanding, it is in city order.
Yeah, I have a huge
And
problem
then
with
we
that,
have to
but-
be under certain temperatures to be able to do it. It
Oh
has
yes,
to
that's
be-
also in the ordinance.
Yes.
Yes, we rely on government to determine when people are gonna get frostbite, and yeah, that's another interesting conversation, but I'll try to keep it civil and without vulgarities. So what do you envision happening if we have a night where we need to serve more than 40 people? do you have any thoughts on what you can do besides say no? Can, can we? Can,
I think we would be creative, honestly. If I've told people, honestly, that if there was a blizzard and there wasn't, they missed the housing, they said, hey, it's not severe weather, we would open our doors. If it's an emergency, we're gonna help people. If we have to put people in hotels, we will do our best personally to help them. That's all I can say. If we have to be open and be creative, we're gonna be creative. If it means lives.
Yeah, this is a government constraint of, again, another example of the churches being told how they're going to run. We didn't talk about this at length at all earlier when people are really coming down on churches a lot about not serving the people. And these are just small examples of barriers that we're running into to be able to, as a church, serve the people. You have any thoughts on why the churches have a hard time serving people? I mean, is it obvious? Anything besides the obvious? Do you think churches don't want to anymore, Tina? What do you?
Well, I think that there's some that maybe have gotten comfortable in just not reaching out to other people. I do think there's that. And then I also think that churches were, in the past, churches were the organizations that could step up in emergencies. Churches were the group of people that really loved their neighbor regardless. And so I think and I hope that churches are getting back to, as much as possible, even if it goes against and we have to fight against things, that we're not afraid to say, yeah, we're going to stand up for refugees. We're going to stand up for people that are on the streets. We're going to do our best to serve with limited resources. And I know, like, Jamie has given personally. I know my family has given personally because there's a cost. And so we're going to keep fighting just for loving our neighbors, whoever that is, and opening our doors for people that are broken. I don't know.
And that's why I love this organization. They're willing to fight. Regan likes to fight.
We learned that about you.
Yeah, and you're non-judgmental about it. That's what's really special to me about it, because I don't always fight the way people think I should fight.
Yes.
Or, I'm done asking government. This is why I don't have a brick and mortar. Like I said earlier before we started this stream, I'd be in jail all the time. They would be hauling me off in handcuffs from my very own location because I wouldn't even be shy about bringing 45 people into my building if they were going to die if I didn't. It's so almost impossible what we've allowed government to get us into. They don't want us serving the people. That's where I'm at. That's my personal take. Government wants to be the end all, serve all, most form of dependency for the people.
But I think there's a group of people who, for the most part, I think people want people to get help. People want there to be changes, but they don't want services in their backyard. They don't want services near them. They want to be able to take them somewhere else. And so this is a prime example. Homelessness is moving south because I wouldn't want to stay in Denver if I were unhoused and where it's so dangerous. And so people are moving where they can, whether it's in a park, whether it's near the river, whether it's tucked away in the corner. People are, and so we have to address that. And so some people would say, well, Movement 5280 is bringing homelessness to them, to the neighborhoods, if people only knew the effect that we are having because we are truly in the trenches with people trying to build their confidence enough to hold their hand to be able to make a change, to be able to get their ID when they haven't been able to for 6 months, to be able to pay for someone's ID and say, you know what, let's work together on this.
And these are paths to self-sustainability. And you know what's interesting, Tina? I don't think people really believe that it is that hard to get an ID and your birth certificate. I think people think we make this stuff up.
No.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
I've been working with people for 2 years. We still can't get birth certificates for them.
The thing is, we get so creative. Like, in order to get this, you need this, you need this, and then we're going to the library or going to the rec center and saying, please, can you take this person's picture and please, because this is going to help. And so it's like walking with someone as much as they're going to allow that we're willing to walk with them, whether it means paying for an ID, whether it means going to the Social Security office, whether it means that we are walking with someone into a rec center and begging them to please give us an ID to take the next step. We're going to do everything we can to walk alongside people.
Yep. It's called navigating government
I do grab them after we're done.
barriers.
Yeah.
They're barriers.
Yeah.
There's not a better word for it, I don't think, is there?
No.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And yeah, so wow, yeah, spoken right from the source. Getting IDs and birth certificates is no fun.
I'm trying. There you go.
Good to see you.
There you go.
Made by love with Jamie, from Jamie.
We got folks in here that are ready to eat and settle in for the night.
Do you know these guys?
Yes, I know both. Yes.
Did she sit on mine?
No, I would never.
Yeah, my text today.
Yes.
This morning.
Yes.
So guess what? I love you.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys again tonight.
Thanks for the shout.
You're welcome, like
Jamie made it.
Let me
Jamie,
know.
with love.
Gina, by the way,
Let me know, when the traction's coming up.
Okay. Yeah, need one.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Tony.
Okay,
I tried to get it prior. No, that's good.
thank you. Hey, yeah, thank you. We're trying to figure that out. I
Why
don't
don't
know.
you use my phone?
We've got it.
I got you.
Call what I need.
Hey, I know, Reagan.
Yeah.
We need someone that will help with laundry.
Oh,
We went to the
yes.
Laundry mat.
Your laundry situation. I learned about it last night.
Like 15 bags of blankets. That's because we went to the laundry mat and it was over $200 to wash and dry.
And this is for shelter. This is for sheltering.
So we're going to figure it out. We're gonna figure
And your
it out,
washer-
but we need someone, people that will be willing to do laundry or a laundromat that would be willing to say, we'll do it for free and get those washed.
Okay. Yep.
Katrina washes all of our towels every week. Takes them home.
Yes, I walked into that laundry situation yesterday. You do have a washer and dryer here.
We don't.
You
So
don't.
We can't because we only have, I believe, 1 to 20 plug in the whole building. So
Electricity.
we actually don't have the capacity, but we got creative and we actually, I don't know if I can say this on air. We set up a washer one night because we were desperate because we can't afford to do laundry. So we brought a washer from upstairs and now we have blankets all over the building drying because, well,
That's what we got to do.
We gotta do.
People are going to have clean stuff, and that's how we're going to do it. And mind you, I don't know if I mentioned earlier in this stream that 5280, based on my open records request that I've taken a look at, they applied for the severe weather shelter grant that Arapahoe County was giving to nonprofits, and told them no. They didn't get it. What they did was give it to another organization, and you've heard me talk about that, Hat Force is what it's called. And this organization is ran by a former Inglewood cop and his daughter. Yeah. So they got the over $100,000 to serve the people. Well, they only serve so many people a night, and the people they want. And then the rest of the people they don't want, they can come over here. This is me talking. This is me telling you what I know, what's going on. I'm not okay with it. They were given money to provide severe weather shelter. When you tell people that you have to call at a certain time, you have to show up at a certain time, and then you have to get there, and then we're going to give you a voucher to a motel, and it might be across the metro area. And you're probably not going to be able to get there, but we'll go ahead and give you a bus pass. That is not severe weather sheltering. That is how people die. People are going to die on the way to that motel. And this is what Arapahoe County did, gave this organization that money, knowing that's what they do, and then didn't ask for any reporting requirements on that. Usually, when you get a grant, this is another reason. For those of you that do grant writing or have dealt with grants, this is another reason I won't do it. I'm not asking the government, you give me the money? Okay, I'll write you a letter. I'll tell you why you should give me the money, but you're not going to tell me what to do with it then. And you're not going to come hold my feet to the fire for something you didn't outline in the grant, right? I'm not going to deal with it. But they didn't even do that with this organization. They said, here you go. Here's some money. Yeah. It's really interesting how these things work. And then all of a sudden, the neighborhood around 5280 amps up to shut down 5280. How does that work? Well, I'll tell you how I think it works. I think there are certain people on the city council of Inglewood partnering with people out in the neighborhood, trying to educate them on how to shut down 5280 with, ordinance violations. Hey, just call the cops. Just keep calling the cops. If we can rack up calls for service, we could show why 5280 shouldn't be there. This has been absolutely absurd to me in Inglewood to watch this. Denver's its own beast in its own way, but this is really more interesting in Inglewood because there are a lot of nonprofits over here in Inglewood, but they have specific things that they do. And I find it really interesting that there's other churches in Inglewood, in neighborhoods, that don't go through anything that 5280 goes through with their disgust of their existence. So at any rate, I think this is true ministry. I'm telling you, this is ministry without judgment. This is a church making every single effort that it can possibly make to serve the people without judgment and barriers. So I really think you should give. I don't care if it's 50 cents or if it's $5 million. Give it. Give it to this organization. Don't give it to me. Write them a check. I'm telling you, write them a big fat check and mail it to them. Their address is in the chat. You know how to contact me if you want to make any other type of transaction for them. You're good. You're fine. So please, this is to sustain 5280's mission and their work. And again, we have an empty freezer. So we're looking for easy meals that they're going to be able to have on demand. You saw an example of what one of those was looking like. I'm kind of waiting it out here to see if I'm going to be able to make my rounds with the van driver. I kind of have a feeling, though, it's going to be a while before she makes another round. Because she tries to do it as late as possible for any people that may be lost. So I'm thinking that I might sneak over there and get a Rice Krispie treat. What do you think? But let's kind of see if I haven't even taken my coat off. I've really been running this week to make sure that 5280 knew that they didn't have to worry about food, and we pulled it off, and we pulled it off well. So they decided that they wanted to do dinner tonight, so I could come in and be in this relaxed setting with them. Sunday is their day of ministry all day long. And I don't know if any of you saw the last video I published, but that went down pretty much live. These Inglewood cops, and another thing I didn't talk about, because I don't want to put 5280 in a bad position, because they are of the position that if they're going to need the cops, they'll call the cops. That's their thing. They've really never needed the cops, so there is that. And this is private property, and there are a lot of great people here that are going to ensure that you're not going to come in here and wreak havoc. There's rules. Every shelter has to have rules, especially when you're bringing folks in that you've never met before. So in fairness to everyone needs to follow the rules. And there aren't any problems with people loitering. There aren't any problems with people doing things around the neighborhood that they shouldn't be doing. Aside from the neighbors false reporting, I mean, there is that, but we don't have to get into that. So, but at any rate, I'm driving down the street the other day. I just randomly driving down the street the other day, and here's Inglewood cops got some guy face down on some stairs over by the Civic Center. And so I pull over and I get out and I start recording. Long story short, you've got the cops high-fiving him. You've got the outreach worker giving him a fist bump. Hey, buddy, get some help. You're well worth it. And they all get in their car and walk away. So I start talking to the guy. He's already got frostbite on the tops of his hands. And they were like, see you later, pal. Inglewood, this just isn't working out too good. You're not doing much to get rid of me. So you might want to start thinking about how you're going to do that. That's just my suggestion. I got to have a Rice Krispie treat, Bella. Yep, I got to have a Rice Krispie treat.
Are you gonna eat?
Heck yeah, if there's enough.
You gotta bring your plate.
That way I can just hang out with y'all and we can chat.
Tina Marie would come down here, could have got live stream my little butt bug.
Yeah. Do you think anybody wants? You think anybody wants to talk to me? See if people want to share their story. Some people do. But I'm gonna have this mic on, so you'll hear me still. I'm just trying to respect people's privacy. We may not have their approval to be on video, so. So yeah, this is for me. Oh, thank you, doll. Much appreciated. So you could all listen to me eat. At least you don't have to watch me eat. So we'll step out of the food prep area, and we'll come over here.
You're welcome, Josiah.
How's the coffee coming?
It's here. I'm ready. It's called Cat Ready Still.
Oh, we got all that whipped cream in the fridge, you know.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
You saw that? Did you see our desserts last
No,
night?
I put a lot out today, too.
Nice.
A lot put out for lunch today, so that was nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie, this is heavenly. Wow.
Yeah, that's good. Huh?
That is some good stuff.
I'll send you some of these. How many Rice Krispies did you want?
Just a couple.
Okay, I'll send you.
This is ham.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Big
Yeah,
chunks
my
of
husband's
ham,
work
broccoli,
located it.
tater tots. So
Broccoli.
I fell apart last night in my plan to do macaroni salad with our corn dogs. Wandered around Sam's Club for 30 minutes going, where in the heck is the macaroni salad? And then I thought, well, I'll put a bunch of tater tots in the oven. No, because if we got to use the oven for all the corn dogs. So yeah, 45 minutes later, I loaded up the cart with their yummy pre-made mac and cheese.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
their mac and cheese is good
Is it
at
good?
Sam's. Yeah,
Yeah, I love mac and cheese.
and it really wasn't that expensive for what mac and cheese takes.
Yeah.
I know, me too. It breaks my heart. It's so long.
I wish Love Bug would come down so she could do
The
tea.
elderly one.
I would love it if anybody
So
wants
she
to
could find out-
He's upstairs at church.
sit down and talk with me.
No, but they did.
No.
They pulled her back.
Yeah, you
So
can.
upset
Their
about that.
bells is high.
And that lady said she was the
Save
finest
those.
one there.
We're gonna save them.
Interesting.
So bad. Don't throw these away. please.
Would she talk to me, Bella?
She might. She's in a pretty good headspace.
Yeah.
She's upstairs in the fellowship hall laying down for a couple
Oh,
days.
okay.
You know that fellowship?
Tina.
Oh, yeah. You know what? She's had a neat net. She has calmed down because people have cared. And she'll understand how to tell her to be there. Yeah, they promised to her.
And they fed me. How's this sound going? Listening to me eat. I'm most curious. I got these new mics. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Cheers. Snarky, thank you very much for continuing to put Movement 5280's mailing address in here. Are the mics? Is it not good? I want to talk to a sweet little gal that may be willing to talk to me about her experiences needing shelter. Excuse me. I think there's probably about 12 people already here. Thanks for letting me know the mic is fine. Here's Miss Tina. She may want to talk to us. Hey, you know all those little cartons of milk? Yeah. Bella, those little tiny cartons of milk, we moved them all. You know those individual cartons?
Oh, yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
see those get donated?
Yeah, sometimes they get. Did
We
we
moved-
get some?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them, and I
Oh.
moved them into the other room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She went to go to the bathroom, I think. She should be right there. This is my love bug right here.
Yeah, you know, I'm not supposed to be knowing that they're playing right now.
Yeah.
Like that's supposed to be closed about how this will be.
How we're open.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not how.
How much sugar do you put in your milk? She likes a lot of sugar. She's a sugar freak.
Um,
But anyway, I take her and I go get,
yeah,
I'll go sit and get a hamburger.
Yeah.
so that's what.
She's not very, like,
That's
with a
something
lot of
way
people,
over
she's
it.
really laid back.
Okay, now.
But she loves me for
Let's
some
sit
odd
down
reason.
with her, me and her.
I made it awfully full. There's like 4 heaping teaspoons of sugar. I hate you.
Can I get a fork? Do you want a fork or a spoon, love bug? Fork?
We're boiling over here.
What is, oh, the coffee, oh, whoa.
The milk.
Oh. There we go.
Roast so come in like a, yeah, you want one for later?
Yeah.
Here, I'll get you.
I'll have one for that. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can have one. Not for my Tina, though. I saved some in the back.
Oh, thank you, Bella.
Hey, can we talk to you? Will you talk to Reagan real quick? She just wants to ask you about how
Hey,
life
Tina.
is living on the streets.
You
wanna go?
I don't like life.
I know, well, that's what I'm saying. You wanna tell her how hard it's been?
You get the food, right?
She's
Come right here, hon.
I thought you done it.
No, she's got
Oh, you
to
are.
tell people how hard it is, Tina.
It's
It's hard, huh? Can she put you on to talk to you?
Maybe.
Are you sure? We sure could use your help.
I'll hang out for a little bit. You change your mind, miss,
change
after
your
you
mind,
have a
you
bite.
come down.
Yeah.
Okay, Mama? I love
Aw.
you too. I love you with all my heart. Okay, baby. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He just went upstairs to go grab some napkins.
Yeah. She's a sweet little lady. These are the bomb. These are the absolute bomb right here. You know, Frozen Rainbow, that's an interesting topic on seeing what really goes down in shelters. Government ran shelters. It's fine.
Can I see that, Tim? nice that it's 32 and wet or 20 and cold.
Crunch. Crunch.
Or wet and below 32.
Oh, you're fine.
Not a, but I'm not gonna forget. It's gonna be really, really cool on Friday, like 70.
This guy right here, he's the bomb. Did you see him walk by? He's their maintenance guy and their everything guy. And his name's Dan. And he's a handsome fella. I'm telling you right now. He's really the reason I come to 5280. I'm just kidding. He is such a nice guy. And he's such a cutie.
Deal. Oh,
Deal or no deal?
All right, love ya.
Deal or no deal? Rosette. Daniel? Potatoes, papas? Papas.
Thank you.
You gonna make your fun run later?
Yeah, we just came,
Okay.
we went, and it's kind of dead right now, so we're gonna wait a little bit.
Okay.
There's only one at the library. We went back, and there's nobody.
Okay.
But yeah, before the doors close. You wanna ride
Gotcha.
the house with me? So I can get some stuff and come back.
You talked me out of the Bisquick the other day, ma'am.
I talked to you about what?
Just kidding you.
What? No.
The
what?
Bisquick.
Oh, no! She's
Busted. No.
And I said, you are gonna let me pay for that. She said, no.
Absolutely not. All right. So, what happens in Inglewood stays in Inglewood. Sorry, I had to eat. Okay, so I think we're going to end this stream because they're not going to make another run for probably, I'm guessing, close to an hour and a half. And this was a great introduction into what's going on here, and people need to see it, and because there's a need. And so I'm super hopeful. See, how is this? Is this sound good? I want to get away from Bing in my phone. I'm going to start doing this all the time, but I need to know that it's working and how it sounds. So we're going to keep plugging ahead. We hope there's enough resources in 5280 to be able to finish out this season. We hope to find them that $10 million donor that sees the work and understands the mission and wants to help them continue it. They're busy. They're understaffed, underfunded, right? So I wanted to be a part of this year, and they graciously accepted. Look, you don't just let anybody walk into your operation. You just don't do that. I don't let anybody walk into my operation, and I don't even have a brick and mortar. So, and as you can see, that's why I work solo most of the time. Because if you don't understand my work and you don't respect my people and you don't think there's a mission at hand here, I can't have you involved. And when it comes to taking government to task, that's all easy and fine and fun and dandy. Going out there and yelling at these stupid cops, it's easy, it's fun, it's fine. This is hard work, and it takes a very serious mindset to understand what's involved. And hold on one second. Oh, well, I guess I can keep talking, can't I? So, with that said, help me help them, please. Because it's going to save a life like Robert's, who, by the way, still calls me anywhere between 4 and 15 times a day. And I'm okay with it. And I owe Robert a trip to, what's that stupid steakhouse? Whatever that dumb place is that he absolutely loves, that I hate and is a ripoff. But I owe him a trip to dinner or lunch or whatever. So we're going to do that. Robert is still waiting on the government for housing. And luckily, Robert is still in recuperative care and not back out on the street. And that all happened literally because I said I'm not going to keep driving by that guy on the bench anymore, even though I was trying to taper off and be done with direct street outreach. I'm one person. It takes one other person to do the same thing. And it didn't happen for 2 months as Robert sat on that bench in front of Kaiser on a 4-lane literal highway. This is where we're at as a society, and it's pathetic. And it's even more pathetic that this organization cannot be bolstered and supported in its well-rounded good work. They do everything here. I came in here one day out of the blue because that's pretty much what they welcome. I mean, don't think you're going to come in here and cause problems. But I waited my turn to talk to Jamie because she's a very busy person in a chair outside her office upstairs. And I heard some people in her office talking. I wasn't eavesdropping. The walls are that thin, and they weren't trying to have a private meeting. And it was 2 cops from Denver, investigators. And they had made a connection with Jamie because they have such an excellent youth program here as well. And these investigators work with, you're fine if you need to come through. You're fine. Go ahead. And these folks, these investigators, not folks, these investigators were trying to figure out if they had the correct programming for addressing youth gang issues, I'll say. That's pretty much what it was. And Jamie, you should have heard her just flow with everything that they've done, that they could potentially do. Her and Bella, actually. Bella was in there as well. And I thought, ugh, tough to see these cops when they come out of her office. Well, if you don't want to, Regan, get up and move. I decided not to move. And they came out of that office and they weren't very nice. Their facial expressions. They didn't look very friendly. I don't know if that relationship worked out or not, but first thing Jamie wanted to know when I walked into her office, are you recording? We've had some funny stories. We've had some good times to share. What's happening, mister? What do you need? You want water? We'll put it in the sink?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. I can do that. These are good people. These are good folks in this church. And so I just wanted to put that out there. We've had some great conversations. I've had some great interactions with their clients that I've never been able to meet. I've been able to bring some of my folks in here, my clients that have never been introduced really to 5280, and I currently have one of them embracing the wraparound services and getting her where she needs to be. It's a big deal. So it's a win-win. So please, in closing, give to 5280. All the ways to do it are in this chat. I don't care if it's 5 cents or 5 million. Please do it for this organization so they can keep doing what they're doing in serving the people. Thank you all very much. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. I think we're probably going to be doing this stuff again. Take care.